Hi, I am Rebecca Olson, CEO of the MACPA, and I am delighted to be here with another one of our amazing leaders in Maryland and one of our Women to Watch honorees, Emily Updegraff, a shareholder at Katz Welcome, Emily.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Emily, you've been at Katz for, I guess, like almost 15 years, I think.
15 years, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure lots of things have happened over the last 15 years, but is there something that stands out as, like a professional accomplishment that you're most proud of or something that really is a highlight for you and maybe why?
Yeah, I think I have several accomplishments that I'm super
Yeah.
proud of, obviously, over the past 15 years. I think one of the ones that stick out the most is becoming a mentor
Mm.
to several colleagues, from staff, seniors, supervisors. But I think what I'm most proud of is being a mentor to leaders that were in leadership positions when I started. And
Mm.
it's so rewarding to know that you can still be at the top and still learn something and still grow from everyone around you. And I think that that is an experience that sticks with me every single day, of learning and growing and constantly striving to do better as a person, as a woman in business, as a business leader, as a business owner. I think that is something that we don't think of enough.
Mm. Yeah, just it's amazing how much um, you know, accomplishments in terms of, clients won and things done are one thing, but there's something unique about accomplishments when it's around people and development that just make it so much more meaningful. Like the idea of someone else growing, becoming a leader, maybe being a leader, but learning something from you. That's just like a really cool feeling that we get to have as well with
Yeah,
leadership.
and it's so interesting that you think that you have to be in a position of leadership in order to help somebody else, and that's not necessarily true. You can be in
Absolutely.
any position and still be a mentor and still provide feedback and insight and growth, and no contribution is too small in that area. And I think that that's really kind of a cool thing.
It is a really cool thing. And it's those like small things sometimes that make the biggest difference. You never know who's watching sometimes,
Yes,
right?
yes, or who's listening, or yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, the impact that you can have on others. Well, so you've certainly been able to be a mentor to others, but is there somebody that's been a mentor to you, somebody that's kind of been a role model in your career?
Yes. I have been very fortunate that I have had several
Mm.
mentors throughout my career. And I think that that is something that is so important, to realize that you have an arsenal of people behind you and to learn and to grow from, and that you don't necessarily have to embody all the traits from one person, that you can kind of see how people handle things and see um, how reactions and determine how you want to be. But from our current CEO is fantastic, and I learned a lot from her. Our former CEO, he was great. I learned a lot from him. I met with them every 6 weeks just
Mm.
to kind of talk about situations that came up and how to handle things, and most of it is working with people.
Right.
And we think we're an accounting industry, but we're really a people industry. And so learning how to work with people is probably one of the most powerful tools that you can have. And so I think having multiple mentors and learning what to take away from each one is a really powerful tool that you can have. And if you can make that analysis earlier in your career, I think it just skyrockets you even faster.
Gosh, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. We definitely talk about numbers a lot, but we are for sure a people profession.
Yes.
And I love the idea that it's multiple mentors, multiple role models, right? Because leadership is personal, and so you're not going to just be, cut and paste of the leader or the mentor that you had before you. You're going to be this collection of things based on your own experiences, based
Right.
on those around you that you learn from. And so, absolutely, yeah, it's
Yes.
so personal and a collection. I love that.
Yes.
So the MACPA, over the last, gosh, well, we're next year in 2026, we will be 125 years old.
Wow.
So the
Wow.
wow, yeah. So the profession
Wow.
has changed a lot since 1901, and it continues to evolve. And we're talking, internally at MACPA. Okay, what does it look like? How do we celebrate the 125th anniversary? But one of the things we've kind of settled on as we talk about that is we can't celebrate 125 years. We can, but what does the last just 25 years look like, right? And how has the profession evolved? I mean, even in the last, 5 years, since COVID, which is this like mark in everyone's calendar of like time of
Yes.
it was it pre-COVID or post-COVID? How have you seen the profession evolve in your, career? And then how does that translate to how you mentor or give advice to young people entering the profession?
Yeah. So, gosh, I mean, if you think about 6 years ago, we would be doing this face to face, right?
Right.
We would have met in person. And so technology has just transformed our lives. And it's not always in these huge impactful ways like COVID and forcing everyone to stop and forcing everyone to go remote or anything else like that. It's sometimes it's the teeniest, tiniest tweaks that just add up into such a big transition. And so adaptability is just so crucial for our profession. The ability
Hmm.
to take what is handed to us from regulations or from banking industries or from big four or it's just the ability to change and pivot and adapt is really, I think, where our profession needs to continuously focus on and not necessarily get stuck in traditional ways. And Sally is gone
Yeah.
unfortunately, but so it's really kind of cool to watch it all transform in
Hmm.
real time. And as I sit here today, like when you said 25 years ago and you think about, I graduated high school 20 years ago, and like kids today go to school with computers. I went to school
Yeah.
with a notebook,
Yeah.
and it's so wild to see all that whole thing transform. But adaptability is just the one crucial key that everyone just needs to kind of take with them.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's an exciting time, I think, to be part of our profession.
Yes.
And that skill set of adaptability and being able to unlearn and relearn and learn
Yes.
totally different things. I mean, I think it's both makes our profession really exciting and makes it
Yes.
hard some days too, right?
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah.
that's also the beauty of it is that you can come in every day and do something different. Right.
Hmm.
I do audits. I have my same clients. Every year is different. And even if their organization maybe didn't change drastically, it's still a different year. I still have a new technology piece that I can use on them. I still have a new tool. We still have new conversations, and every day is different and it's challenging. And that is also rewarding that you can get through each challenge every single day.
Absolutely. It's dynamic, very dynamic.
Yes.
And so that kind of leads into we, as a profession, right? We have some stereotypes about us, and everyone's aware of those, but
Yes.
we've been on this journey to try and like help change that. And part of that is talking to leaders like you and using, our very small, but it is a platform
Yeah.
to share the stories of leaders like yourself. And so I wonder for you, Emily, you mentioned it there with the idea of the constantly changing and being able to adapt and the exciting new things you get to do each day. But what would you say is your like why, your purpose? Like what really kind of gets you up in the morning to work for your clients, to work with your team? What's your driving purpose?
I think it's really to help the community, to help people realize their potential, whether it's my team members, whether it's a business owner, whether it's someone building an empire, whether it's someone starting up a shop, whether it's someone doing succession and they're giving their family business over to their kids, and that was the dream that they wanted. I think that seeing what drives our clients and what drives us individually every single day through our work is really kind of what gets me going and my why and my motivation and my purpose. It's really really rewarding to watch a light bulb moment on a colleague's face when they finally understand a concept, and it's really nice to get the phone calls from my clients that say thank you so much for being there for us because we and helping us work through this because this is going to help us expand nationally now that I know that the accounting is set. I don't have to worry about it. Like that for me is the rewarding part of my job. And that is not debits and credits, and that is not spreadsheets, and that's not emails that's being sent back and forth. Those are just the phone calls that I get randomly at 3 o'clock in the afternoon that say, hey, I have a quick question for you. That's what that's why I do this. That's what makes me keep going.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, it's back to the people, right?
Back to the
The
people.
spreadsheets, the filings, all of those things are necessary. They're kind of like
Yes.
they're part of it, but the real purpose, the impact that you get to have are those 3 o'clock, phone calls, and to really have an impact on somebody's life and livelihood,
Yes.
right? That's awesome.
Yep.
So, as part of the Women to Watch Awards, we have two categories. We have emerging leaders and we have experienced leaders. And so the common, term there is leader, right? We're really honoring some of Maryland's amazing female leaders. And so for you, Emily, what does leadership mean? If you had to like answer or complete the question or complete the sentence, being a leader means what? What would you say if that's for you, Emily?
Being a leader means forever learning. A leader is not the person who walks into a room with the most knowledge or even the most confidence or even is the most charismatic in the room. Being a leader is analyzing everyone's needs and wants and the goals and the opportunities that are out there and really deciphering and balancing all of those things at once,
Mhm.
and being able to move forward as a group and as a team and putting a team first. But in order to do all that, you have to acknowledge that you are not going to be the smartest in the room. You may not be the smartest in the room ever. You may not be the most confident in the room ever, but the ability to get everyone working in those different cogs to get the team or the group as a whole to be the smartest group in the area or to effectively help your clients in the area. That's really what it's about. It's about achieving a higher purpose and helping everyone realize their potential while doing it.
I love that. We are for sure a continuous learning profession, and leadership is a continuously learning um, uh,
It is.
skill set, right? Like there's always something new. And so, yeah, I love that idea of that learning and just continuing to grow, right? And to help the
Mhm.
others around you become better. And that looks different in different days, at different moments, in different meetings, different clients, like always
Exactly.
dynamic, right?
Yes,
Always
it is.
dynamic.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes you just sit there and you let somebody talk because that's what they need to do at the time.
Mm.
And then you help them work through it and you say, okay, I heard this, this, and this, and and you move on from there. But yeah, I think it's really about, yeah, combining skill sets, combining people, and really kind of humbling yourself and realizing that you're not always the person in front. Sometimes you're the person in the middle, and sometimes you are the person that's all the way at the end holding someone's hand and walking them through it, and the team is just moving on without you. But that's sometimes what it means.
That's amazing. So I mentioned it, I hinted at it, but we're celebrating MACBA's 125th anniversary next year. And one of the cool things I think about our profession is that it's a profession. It's made up of people, right? And the MACPA is at its heart a community. And so for you, Emily, you've been part of this profession for many years. What does it mean to you to be part of a community, to be part of a profession, not just have, a job that you go to 9 to 5, but to really have this community around you?
I think it's super rewarding to give support and to receive support
Mm.
from this whole great profession that we are in. You form a bond, and especially like when you go out to events and things like that, you really kind of pair up with the other CPAs because no matter what, you have this inherent bond of working through things and working through clients and working through difficult circumstances. And there's a really rare commonality
Yeah,
that you don't get a lot with other professions.
right.
As if you look at a different profession, such as like architecturals or engineers or bankers, it depends on what industry they're in, it depends on where they work, it depends on a lot of these things. But a
Right.
CPA, what we go through on a regular basis is the same across the United States and across really the world of what we go through on a regular basis. And it's really rare, I think, to have that and to understand that we're all on the same common ground, I think is really cool.
Yeah. You can be in very different organizations and yet have a lot of things in common and to really be able to back to mentoring, right? To be able to help and share ideas with people in, all sorts of contexts because, there's those commonalities. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Emily, for spending just a couple minutes with me. I loved
No.
getting to know about you and your leadership style, what motivates and drives you. And I look forward to meeting you in person on September
Yes.
17th at our Women to
Absolutely.
Watch Awards.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks.